Senator Riviere.
Thank you. I'm in support of the amendment.
Please proceed.
A few comments. My district is heavily impacted by vacation rentals, as you folks have probably heard me say. We have 82 legal vacation units in my district. 82 are legal. They are the leftover permits from 1989 when the County of Honolulu changed the process and tried to have them atrophy, but it's gone the exact opposite. I had my staff this week look into some of the online postings. Because of our law from last year that requires posting of your TAT license or your non-conforming use license number, I had my staff do a fairly thorough sampling of hundreds of the advertisements. On VRBO.com, there are 964 units that pop up under North Shore. So you say, well, it's a nice area. It's where people want to stay. And I would say that that's 964 units, even if you took out 82 and presumed that they were legal. There's a lot of housing there that is not available for residents anymore. I know several people that truly have been displaced by vacation rentals. I know a lady that now lives in Oregon. She flies for Hawaiian Airlines, and she would have been here today if she could. I was going to point her out in the audience. She moved to Oregon because after all these years of getting bumped from place to place, it was just easier for her to go to the mainland. 3 weeks ago on a Saturday morning, I had a lady show up at my doorstep at 9 in the morning. An unfamiliar car rolls up, and this lady walks up, and she knocks on my door, and she says, "Hey, Gil, do you remember me?" And I said, "Yes, I do." She said, "You remember you coached my son in Little League?" I said, "Yes, I remember you folks." She said, I need a place to stay, and I don't know where to turn. I grew up 200 yards over there. You know that house right over there?" She said, "I grew up in that house. Lived my whole life. My family's been in this area for generations." She said, "I have to find a place to live, and there's nowhere to live." I said, "I know." I said, "I know." I said, "But I'm trying to raise the awareness that we, legislators, are abrogating our responsibility." I didn't use those words with her, but we're failing to get control of the situation. So my staff did some research on this, and they went through, and it's very difficult, so I understand the challenge for the Department of Tax and anyone else, the Department of Planning and Permitting, to investigate this. But they went to Airbnb. I told them to sample Airbnb. When you type Airbnb, you go on there and you type North Shore, you get properties in Waianae, you get properties in Waimanalo. They flag it because it sells. North Shore sells, so anywhere on the island, they're marking this. So my staff said, how are we going to possibly get to the bottom of all these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units? I said, do what you can. Look at the map and go to Waialua, where I happen to know there's probably about 6 legal ones maybe. They sampled 542 units, and of those in Airbnb 542 advertisements, 88 listed their TAT numbers. So 16% compliance. The bill that the Senate Draft 2 that we're trying to amend here would just make that not even necessary. Just skip it. Don't bother with a TAT license. Of the 542 samples, 2 are legal on the list of 82. VRBO, as I mentioned, has 964 units listed on the North Shore. We sampled only 50 because we just didn't have all the time in the world to do this. There was 18 that were compliant with the TAT license and only 1 legal. My point in making this observation is, of the sampling we did, VRBO compliance legally is twice that of Airbnb. So Airbnb already has demonstrated that they're not working very hard to enforce anything other than to collect money. I support the collecting of taxes, the GET and the TAT, so I don't want to be misconstrued on that. In the past couple of years, I've been supportive of measures to try to get a handle on this. But we're missing an opportunity here, folks. There's disparate treatment. So if this bill passed, the SD2, if it passes, and you advertise on VRBO, you've got to go get your TAT license number. If you want to hide behind Airbnb, don't worry about it. They'll take care of it. And you get a 1099 in the mail. So there's disparate treatment for a certain group of people. The exemptions from the laws are as the previous speaker mentioned, why? Why are we going to exempt them? Perhaps we should pass this amended bill, move it forward, and if in the future that we find that those exemptions are warranted, maybe then we can go for exempting Airbnb because they'll be a good community member. But the fact that they're advertising throughout the state in clear violation that all of these people who would be advertising are illegal should not be condoned and supported. They're bringing lower budget tourists, which is fine. I spent 3 years backpacking, traveling around the world. I've been that low budget traveler. But as previously mentioned, in Hawaii, we have impacts. A low-budget traveler has impacts just as the high-budget traveler. And we're getting more and more and more people, and nobody seems to be taking account of that. So for these reasons and others, I'm very supportive of this, the amended version. I am not supportive of the underlying measures. So thank you very much.